Hello class, today is our 10th meeting for structure 3. From the previous meeting we have already discussed about questions. So now we have questions part 2. Actually, we have already discussed this one even just for a bit about these questions. But we kinda like discussing these questions related with reported speech. So I take this part because I might think that maybe some of you feel confused how to make the sentence which consisting the questions inside the sentence. Let's see for this. Asking questions with the beginning. What does it mean? Take a look for this. The beginning of this. Do you know? Could you tell me? I'm not sure. Have you any idea? I don't know. And so on. The beginning over here, it means that sometimes when we want to ask something or we want to ask someone, we will start by saying the questions and end it with another question. It is just like to opening a conversation or opening a small talk to someone. It is kind of like better when you start conversation by asking like this. Let's say that you meet someone and then you want to know where he lives. So which one is better? Do you want to just directly ask him where do you live, or the or compared to this, could you tell me where you live? I think it is much better when you ask the questions and when you start the beginning. Now look at for the questions that I have made. Where is the castle? Where can I find this postcard? Who is the man? How much does it cost? And when it happened? This belongs to question words because if you pay attention here, where, who, how much, when, all of this belong to question words. Now, let the beginning, it means that this one just let them be like that. So you do not need to change anything, but you need to change the question form. This one is related with what we have learned from the previous meetings when I asked you to change from the questions become statement for the reported speech. So it's quite the same. But don't worry because this one has not been related with reported speech. You do not need to change based on the tense. So just change based on the tense that you have got it. I mean that it is stated in the sentence. For this one, where the castle is, blah blah blah. So you make change into this. Yeah, from these questions, you change into here, where the castle is. Where is the castle? From the questions, you change to statement, where the castle is. Where can I find this postcard? Become where I can find this postcard. You see, you don't need to change this become that. Just stay like that. Do not need to change anything. It is easier, right? We haven't related this one to the reported speech, so just stay the same with the tense that it is stated already over there. Okay, you can read it until the last. And again, this one belongs to question words. Now, this is the final form from the question. So you just like the beginning and then change the question form like this. Do you know where the castle is? It is much better, right? Compared to when you ask something or when you ask someone, where is the castle? So you do not use the beginning. Again, this is really up to you. This is really according to you. This is really based on the way how you start the conversation. Some people would like to have the beginning to show their interest manner, polite manner to someone, compared to you just directly ask them where is the castle. When you start by saying, do you know where the castle is? It is nicer to anyone who heard it. But again, this back to you. I believe that you will not ask this kind of sentence, or you will not ask this kind of questions to your friends or to your classmate. But anyhow, probably you want to practice, just go ahead. Okay. Now we have for the asking questions with the beginning, and then for the beginning, this is the beginning, and also for the questions. And then this one is non-question word, because if you pay attention this, I do not use any question word. I'm using auxiliary verb, did, is, does, and is. And then again, for just like the beginning, stay like that, remain like that. And then this is the statement. You see that this is the question, so you change like that. From the questions, you change into statement. And this is non-question word. And if you pay attention this, I change it into if all, so it is quite the same with what you have learned in the reported speech, which if the question is non-question word or yes no questions, when you change it into statement you have to use if. So I apply the same rule, the different only the tense just stay like that. You do not need to change anything because it has no relationship with reported speech yet. Now for the next we have this one. Okay, actually it is quite the same with the previous slide. The previous slide I use if, and then this one use whether. Personally, I choose if because it just has two letters and it really saves up your energy. However, if you want to use whether, it's free. Who knows that you would like to have more variation in your sentence. Now is the final form. If I use if this, okay, and again if you see here, I put that into the blanket because it's really an optional for you, and you can feel it by your sense whether you think that it is necessary or unnecessary for you to put it. Do you know that if anyone saw you, or do you know if anyone saw you? Which one is better? You decide it. For me, my point is I do not want to have questions and questions, but the point is questions and statement. That's the point. Okay, and this one is also for the weather. You see, it is also the same with the previous slide. Now try to see this one. Could you tell me what should I do now? It changed into could you tell me what I should do now? This is I have made it into non-reported speech, which it means that there is no any connection or relationship with the reported speech. Could you tell me what should I do now? This is wrong sentence. This is question and this is questions. In one sentence, it is impossible to have two questions in one sentence. So please let the first question form that it be, and then change the second question form into the statement form like this. Next one, have you found where is the address? This one is wrong again. One form, second form. When you change it, it becomes have you found where the address is? Again, do you know is somebody hiding here? Do you know? First question form, and then is somebody hiding here? Second question form. Again, this one is impossible, so you have to change this one into statement. This one, let it be. So it becomes, do you know somebody is hiding here? Could you tell me, is there any good place here? It becomes, could you tell me this? Stay the same. Is there any good place at here? Because this one I do not use a question word, so I change it to if there is any good place at here. You may or you may also use whether over here. Yeah, whether there is any good place at here. Now we go to the reported speech. Do you still remember this question? Yeah. Okay. You will answer it by yourself. Okay. Now, what do I have to admit, Tony? It becomes, Steve asked Tony what he had to admit. This is reported speech from I have to become he had to. Were you there, Steve? Tony asked Steve if Steve had been there. Or Tony asked Steve whether Steve had been there. How is Bruce's arm, Tony? Thor asked Tony how Bruce's arm was. Have you found Thanos, Clint? Natasha asked Clint if he had found Thanos. Or Natasha asked Clint whether he had found Thanos. So that's all for the questions part 2. Hopefully you do get the points of this. The points of today's material is it is impossible to have 2 questions formed in one sentence. Just remember the first question form, let the be, you keep using the same one, but change the second question form into the statement form. Okay, I think that's all for today's. Goodbye and see you.